Hello, everyone. It is uh, it is a great pleasure for us to host today the KICKASS Founder Series, in where we are going to talk to our KICKASS alumni. So, let me first give you a brief intro as to what is KICKASS Founder Series. So, the what we at Hatch we experience, we see all these amazing ladies, female founders. We have been having sessions with, talk to each other, uplift each other, encourage each other with their words every day. So we thought, why not the entire community around us? Listen to them sharing their journey, listen to them sharing the encouraging words about their journey with each other. So today we have picked a topic which is very close to our heart, which is collaboration in a crisis. So to talk to you about collaboration at Hatch, we believe in collaborating with right partners, right organizations to amplify the efforts that we put in to the work we do for a larger community of people. So there are three amazing kick-ass alumni female founders who are here with us today to show you, to talk to you about their journey, the journey they have had so far. So let me first introduce all three of them. First, we have Oenone Mills, founder of Nightshade Stationery, which is a stationery brand that promotes resilience and mental health awareness. And we have Himali de Silva, founder of Ape. Ape is a resale platform that promotes circular consumption in Sri Lanka. And hopefully in global in the longer run. And we have also Sulochana the co-founder of the Vegan Kitchen by Sulo. She helps and promotes innovative and creative plant-based products. So I would like to first warmly welcome all three of you. Hello.
Hi.
We are
Hello.
thrilled to have you all here today. So let's move into the topic at hand, and I will first move to Oenone here. So hi, Oenone. So as an advocate in mental health awareness as well, we would first I would like to know what is the reason behind, how did you start your, what did you think of, why did you think of starting your own business? How has this journey been so far as a stationery brand? Would you like to share your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So essentially, it was actually my passion for to empower people to become more confident and to strengthen their mental wellness and resilience to live a life that is more intentional, which sort of propelled me to start. Was what was reason behind Nightshade Stationery. So that was one of the main. I mean, if you told me like 6 years ago that I'll be starting a business, I would have just like laughed about it. But I felt like business was a powerful tool that we could use to bring about change in people's lives. So that was the reason I started Nightshades. And we actually, if you think, yeah, the journey so far, it's been a very long and interesting one. So I mean, I started with a very, very like small collection of stationery. I can remember, I think it was in 2018, and I had mostly like imported products that I felt reflected the brand values. And over time, now it has come to a stage where it has grown to include more locally made products like our scrapbooks, and then we have our cork boards, which promote visualization, and then we have our planners as well. Last year we had the 2020, we'll have the 2021 coming out as well. And then we're going to expand more into notebooks and journals and, promote those stuff that will strengthen your resilience and be a brand that advocates for that. So we are retailing at different places as well. I mean, when I started out, it was just mostly FB and Instagram and pop-ups, but now we are retailing at Cafe Kumbuk and Cotton Plus Paper, and we hope to expand more. So it's been an interesting journey so far. And I mean, we started very small, but we have come to a point where we have more locally made products and products that cater to the brand value and vision and mission as well.
Yes, I would also like to ask a bit more on the question.
Yeah.
What is the idea that? I remember reading about you trying your focus being on connecting the resilience together with the stationery to get promoting that mental health awareness, giving that the tools that make people happy. So because I personally get really happy when I so how is your the market has been, like the audience around your brand? How have you been advocating what you started to advocate since the beginning? How has that journey been?
It's been really good, Sasmini. Actually, I never expected. I mean, I started it out because I felt like there was a gap in the market that I could fulfill. And I mean, the response from the community, my customers, my clients, everyone has been tremendously like overwhelming, and they have grasped on the brand value very easily because I think there is a need for it. So, for example, like my cork boards, which promote visualization, I've had customers message me and say it has helped me bring more clarity in 2020, and it has brought more clarity to their goals. And for me, like I want more than, I think, not that I don't want people to be, but more like a intentional and meaningful life to live. So that's what I want to promote in customers and bring that awareness about. And I mean, they have, it's been a good response, a good journey so far in increasing and come to a point.
In terms of creating your brand value itself, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Oenone. So let's move on to Himali. Himali, you are a champion in circular consumption since the day we have been talking about it, and that's why I actually got to know about it. Like I bothered to read about the like what is she talking about? Why like and I'm so glad I did, and I am so inspired of the work you do with Ape. So would you like to, since you started your business during the pandemic, during crisis as well, would you like to share your story, why, how you started it?
So actually, I started it under a different name 3.5 years ago. But then my dad got sick and passed away, so I had to pause. But when I was in lockdown, I mean, I always wanted to do it again, but obviously I had the time as well. So I sat and I like rebranded, relaunched it. And I mean, this is how I always explain circular consumption to anyone. If you belong to a South Asian household, it's something you've been doing your whole life because you have borrowed your sister's clothes, your brother's clothes, your cousins, hand-me-downs, your friends. So it's actually circular consumption. It's simply one item being used many, many times by different people to make sure that it lasts as long as possible and we reduce wastage versus wearing something once and throwing it away. So what inspired me to start again is obviously now COVID has, one, given us all time to really sit and reevaluate our lives. Two, it's impacted people financially. People have lost jobs, pay cuts. So now everybody's a little bit more conscious. And then we also see how a virus can put our whole globe into lockdown, basically. So this is, I mean, I guess that's the only, I can't say good thing, but the fact is the whole world is suffering, right? It's not just Sri Lanka alone in this, but it makes us really see, okay, we need to be conscious of what we're doing. Think of other people, think of our resources. So I felt the need, although it was always there, had just become pushed to the forefront. So it's a good time to start. And the thing is, in Sri Lanka, see, because it's heavy terms and all, it's all new, right? And there's so many taboos and stigmas about, oh, I don't want to buy someone else's, this, that. But the reality is you borrow your sister's or your friend's clothes. It's the same thing. So it's kind of just, for me, the main thing is to raise awareness, because we live in a world where we're just inundated with information right now, right? So yes, everybody's heard the term greenwashing and recycling and upcycling, but someone needs to just sit and like help break it down into digestible, like bite-sized information, where it's like someone else doing the hard work and saying, hey, this is a pocket version, so
Yes.
So that's one of my main purposes of APE is also like I always have information lines. It's to make people aware where I'm doing the hard work, doing the research, studying, but then giving you just the basic information which makes you go, oh shit, I didn't think of that. I didn't really think, oh, we have been doing it our whole lives. So why does it matter if I buy something from someone else? So that's why I started it.
That's why. So it's very interesting, like because COVID actually put all our lives into a halt at one point and made us reevaluate ourselves and to think of. I'm pretty sure, like, and I have met a lot of startups which were founded during the COVID. And a startup which is championing sustainability, circular consumption. You are doing great work, Himali. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let's move to Sulo. Hi, Sulo. The question I have, you have very interesting, out of the three of you, you are the only one with a co-founder, and the co-founder being the husband, partner in life as well. And since your inception, back in 2016, where none of these vegan-friendly food were a trend, how has that journey been? Like, how has that inception to right now has it been for you?
So I was introduced to this world of vegan food and veganism by my husband. So when we first met, I did not know anything about veganism, and so once we went to some cafe and I was nicely eating a nice piece of cake, and he was like, I haven't had cake in about 3 or 4 years. And then I was like, then only it struck me, okay, now this guy is vegan, and vegan means something different. So what I did was I surprised him on his birthday with the chocolate cake, a vegan cake. First time I just was going through the internet and trying to figure out how to make a cake. And then he was blown away, and then he wanted some cakes for his office. And then when he took it to his office, everybody was like, wow, this is so tasty. And then some of his friends were telling him, you should tell her to make this and sell it, because it's difficult to say that this is vegan with no eggs and butter or milk or things like that. So that's how we started off. But in 2016, we got married. And then after we got married, he was like, look here, we'll start this off. Because everybody, whoever I give the piece of cake, they're like, it's really tasty. So then in 2016, May, we started off. So on the first day, we had 3 customers. And we just sent out the orders. And after that, little by little, there were like the first few, maybe first 6 to 8 months, we would have had like 1 or 2 orders coming in. And then after some time, people got to know that there is somebody who is making vegan cakes. And then little by little, I wanted to, because my husband is 100% vegan, I was trying to prepare different stuff for him. And then I started preparing both savories and sweets. So this was something, I think I was the only one at that time who was able to do both savories and sweets, which were all vegan. And then we started off small with another partner in Vellavata, but then things didn't work out well. And last year we wanted to start off our cafe, and we were planning it, and we were trying to come up with the place and everything. And then we were going to start in May, because May was the month which we started. And then in April there was the bomb blast, and we had to hold everything up. And then in December, my husband and I, we had a small budget only, and we invested a really small budget, and my husband did everything from the foundation to the plumbing to the wiring, everything he did for the little cafe of ours. And we were going to open it in March. We were going to open towards the 2nd or 3rd week of March, and then we all went for a lockdown. And then we were really upset about it, but then we couldn't do anything. And I invested, both of us, we invested a little bit, and then we thought it's all gone. But then, of course, we have a lot of support. We had so many well-wishers who were like, no, wait for some time and see how it goes. And then in June, we were like, okay, fine, since everything was slowly opening up, let's start it. And then we started in June, and it has been wonderful. The support has been amazing. And yes, we have the good days, we have the bad days, and it's just the two of us who is running the entire show, and it has been really nice though. And to stay there, you can come up with food with no eggs, or completely vegan, completely plant-based. And to see how people are amazed when they eat it is something which I and my husband, we both love seeing the reactions at the end.
Yes. Thank you so much, Silva. I'm looking forward to have your cake. And yes, you will also get one from Sulo. And I've heard like a lot of people talking about how like KICKASS ladies itself, how they complement vegan food that you have been having. So thank you so much, Sulo. Just want to know, like, how was that entering into that niche market? That how was establishing yourself, and like, you must have had the days where you haven't had any orders, right? Like, so how did you all take that together? How was it easy? How was it?
So at the beginning, we were not 100% focused on the business per se. It was more like a passion, and it was something which we did after work, or like if there is an order, you wake up in the morning and then do it and go off. And it was not exactly like a business per se. Only this year in June, we started it off like a business. And this year, of course, there has been a few days where, which because of the lockdown, sudden lockdowns, there were extended days, and those days it has been really bad. But then for the both of us, because it's just the two of us, our overheads are low, and so we are able to manage things out. But the best thing what we are actually enjoying is that moment we get to share these plant-based items. So even though there are a few bad days, it gets offset later on with the good days we are having.
That is lovely, Sulo. Thank you so much. So let's move on to one thing that I want to point out is all three of you ladies are working on passion projects, things that you love, and I admire that so much. Hat sports, this sustainability work that you all do. So let's move on to the next set of questions that we have. So Oenone, so as a stationery brand, I would like to know what collaboration means to you.
That's an interesting question. So when I kind of reflected back on the journey, and when you asked this question, like what does collaboration mean, I realized that it has actually played like a really important part in me growing the business from back in 2018 when I started with a small collection. So that has been like a crucial pillar of support. So I've been able to do so many things because I started this business with a passion. So I had zero knowledge in business per se. I didn't have a degree in it. I had a degree in psychology. So I just got into it with the sole interest of wanting to fill a gap in the market. So through collaboration with other founders and platforms like Hatch, and things like that, I was being able to expand my knowledge in business, and that has been how do I make this business a sustainable business? How do I make my passion a sustainable passion, like doing a business plan and things like that. So I've been able to learn so many things. Like, for example, when I started out, like even the basics of finances, I was struggling with on how to do, like, plan the financial projection for my collection and things. But there was a friend who helped me out, who sat with me and gave sort of like a blueprint of what he does for his business. And I mean, there are so many other examples, but this is one of them. Through Hatch, the KICKASS itself, I've learned so many things. So that is one thing. And I've been able to grow and strengthen my network, like build a list of contacts and connections and reliable, like, suppliers and partners, retailers, partners. And this has helped me increase my brand presence and also helped me take my brand to another level, like the stationery brand. And most importantly, it has also helped me think. When I started Nightshades, my plans have shifted a little bit now in thinking a bit creatively, because I've been able to learn from different people and different ways. And for example, like in this pandemic in 2020, I was at a loss, because in May, how do you increase sales when it's a non-essential product? Although it's the brand values are essential, but it's a stationary item. So how do you build that in a place when that we are facing a global pandemic? So during times like this, I had to creatively think, like, outside the box. And this I learned through collaboration, like learning from other people on how to do. And I spoke to so many people on how to solve, like, challenges that I faced in doing that. So that was one of the things. And I think I spoke to you also about this, like, in not leaving aside collaboration in the sense, but even times when it was tough, like just vent into your female founders or for other founders about what's going on, and you're in a crisis situation. And sometimes I just call, like, friends in and just speak to them. Okay, this happened today, this happened. It's just about venting it out also to maintain your mental well-being. So that, because when your mind is healthy and up there, only you'll be able to sort of take your brand forward. So collaboration has helped me, in a sense, grow the brand and take it from that tiny brand to a brand that I'm able to now. Even in the pandemic, I've seen how important a tool it has been in helping me grow and think outside the box, be inspired by it, be more creative with my marketing channels and things. And that has played a crucial part in sort of bringing it to this stage. Yeah.
Thank you, Oenone.
Yeah.
So, Himali, I am seeing a lot of collaborations on your Instagram itself. There's so much going on, and I would love to hear from you any tips, advices for startup owners, startup founders, on, like, how to successfully collaborate and spread their message across to their correct audience.
So I think there's like a two-pronged answer to this. So for me, I was always building a community. Ape for me is a community, and I've been lucky enough that I've had friends who've all approached me. So Nadia G, who's a brand ambassador, Miss World 2019, Anika Fernando from PR to do the PR collaboration, even Malsha, who's doing Malsha's closet right now, even Manju and Sean, I met through Ape, and they're friends now. Alison was a friend before. So all the people you see are actually people who are friends who step forward to help. Because the hard thing with something like Ape is it's a concept that I'm trying to sell, right? So I need to put human beings to it, because you have to humanize it. When people kind of see someone else doing it, they're like, oh, okay, if she's doing it, it can't be that bad, right? So that's been important. But I also think for a startup, like, one thing I've been very clear about is I will not pay because there is a growing distrust. I mean, you would have noticed this in 2019 and 2020 between the influencer and key opinion leader. The way it was happening before, there was a sudden spike in suddenly everybody's promoting everything, and you pay 30,000 for one post in the middle of 30 posts. And sometimes the person doesn't even know what the item is. I mean, you could, if you're a 20-year-old young, I'm just giving a example and no reference to anybody. If you're 20 years old and don't eat pork, you can't be doing a review on German restaurant. You know what I mean? But you'd all suddenly see these kind of things. And I think now everybody has time, right? So everybody's more conscious, everybody's reading more. So there's this kind of growing distrust. So for me personally, I have never paid for a influencer or anyone. If someone believes in it, of course, please give us a shout out, please tell your friends about it. And even to my customers, because my thing is anonymous. I'm the only person who knows and who buys and sells. So if a customer wants to post an item, I never ask them if they want to, and they're ready to in their journey to do that. I'm thrilled, but I don't put any pressure on anyone. So, but what I meant by that influencer thing, it's really great for small businesses now, because we obviously don't have that marketing budget, right? To pay for 30,000 for someone to give us a post. And honestly, I've noticed even when an influencer has on their own given a shout out, I've only got one follow from that, where genuine, authentic people, when they bought something or they said it, my followers have really increased, because now people are looking for that. They're looking for that genuine, valid opinion of someone going, no, I actually really believe in this and I'm not getting paid to say this. So I think that's great for small businesses. So that's my advice, that, if you believe in it, just promote the brand and get people to talk about it. Ask your friends for help. I mean, there's so many times we have a Hatch entrepreneur group. I'll message into the group and go, girls, what do I do? Where do I get this? And that's the great thing about Hatch and being a part of the KICKASS alumni. You have access to 40 other entrepreneurs who may know the answer that would have taken you weeks to find.
Collaboratively working together with the like-minded always set the path right for you.
I mean, everything in life is kind of a collaboration, right? It's about how well we work with each other.
Yeah. So for collaboration, I mean, it is not just collaborating with the corporates or the business partners, but it is also about family, friends, those who are around you. So that is.
I've made so many friends through Ape who are customers who become my friends now, and that's actually the part that it has been the most rewarding for me.
So that is one key message that we want to give out today, is how all the ladies have been utilizing the community around them, community around us, to make sure that their message is spread across and to work towards the betterment of their business. So Sulochana, so you went from a home baker to a restaurant owner, right? So there must have been changes in how you collaborated, not just together with your friends, family, to whoever whom you collaborated to spread the message across. So were there any changes in terms of moving from the passion project to actual business, and what sort of benefits did you get from those changes?
So like what Himali said, yes, mine is also mainly based on the customer. So I am catering to an extremely niche market, and sometimes we go for stalls, and sometimes the stalls have been amazing, some stalls has been not very good. What we over the years have realized is that, what Himali said, the genuine customer shout outs, the recommendations, and the family recommending us, and that has actually helped us build our brand. We also do not have huge budgets allocated to spreading our names, and there has been people trying to approach us and asking money for to put out the shout out. So of course we are not going for that, because this is a niche market. I'm also catering to an extremely niche market, and not everyone would want to or opt to have vegan food. So I would, I have been collaborating with certain groups like the Meatless Monday, the Sri Lankan chapter for Meatless Monday. These people has been amazing. Woshika and her team has been helping me out from the start itself to spread the word out about the food which we are giving, and also the changes going from home baker to the restaurant. It's just that because I have been baking for 5 years, and people knew me a little bit. And I'm also very surprised now, even with the Hatch meetings. The first day when I went in, I saw a few of my very good customers in the group itself. So it's that little community which is growing, and my collaborations are, and what I mostly focus on is the genuine customer feedback, their recommendations, and of course my family and friends who genuinely help us out.
Okay, thank you, Sulo. And Enosh, keep
Yeah, it was
saying
he really wanted it.
so here there is a collaborator in the audience itself. Reach out later with free cakes. You should be able to get a collaborator. We have one in the audience. So to talk a bit more about collaboration, I want to talk to you, Oenone. So both Himali and Sulochana emphasized on how they have collaborated with people, with the customers, and all the collaborations that they have done are very genuine feedback that they have got on their brand, right? But you have experience when it comes to collaborating with different partners, like different businesses, especially the brands, collaborating to do like pop-ups. Because I found out about Nightshade Stationery like 2-3 years back through a collaboration that you have done. So what's your experience like? How did you manage it? Do you have any tips, advices on like how to go about it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's an important thing. Like, in addition to my customers who have been like strong brand ambassadors for me in Nightshades, I mean, there's been other founders and other brands as well that I have worked with, especially in pop-ups. Like, I can remember, I think the first one was with Jezza. Then at Hatch, we had a few. So it has been like, that has been a strong support system for Nightshades to be able to grow. And the only thing that sort of I can say, and what I felt, is that, I mean, as a business, we should always be, as a female, like as founders, not female, I mean, as founders generally, that we should always be willing to help other businesses and sort of change this mindset that is only about your business going forward in life, whereas it should be also about helping the business and brand that's going beside you. And that has come to life, like Himali said, like in Hatch, you find like 48 plus entrepreneurs, and it's like from different industries in itself. And just one question and you get support network from them. They're willing to share their knowledge and things. So we need to sort of shift that mindset that is only about your business going forward, and sort of, help and strengthen other business well. Because at the end of the day, what I feel personally is that it's not only about us, my Nightshades being successful, but also businesses that are sustainable and promoting good values and good principles, they need to be also successful. And I mean, that's the only sort of tip that I can say. And I mean, that what I've experienced is that it has strengthened industry. And I mean, I have good relations with even people who are competing in the same industry as well. And having this sort of a mindset will only strengthen your industry and bring in good principles and values that are sustainable and healthy for the community and I mean the world as a whole, and sort of move away from this mindset that it should only be about your business. So I mean, there is this interesting concept, people can read about it afterwards, in African philosophy called Ubuntu, which speaks about this concept about how we're all tied with this thread of humanity, and that connects us, and how our successes are tied to each other. I mean, I think Stephen Covey also talks about win-win situations. But yeah, I have so many, I mean, I can list out a number of founders I have bothered and got so much of advice from, and who have been so willing to share their knowledge. And if they were not willing to share their knowledge, I definitely would, I mean, that was one of the key parts, definitely would not have been able to grow Nightshades to this level during this, I mean, in this short time or in this time.
Thank you, Inoni. As Inoni correctly mentioned, sharing the ideas, sharing your insights, knowledge is one way to collaborate with each other. So, Himali, do you have any tips, advices, market trends that you're seeing these days for the business owners to successfully? We can't really say that the crisis is over. The crisis might have just begun when everything, all the countries open up. There will be a new set of problems that are coming our way, right? So, are there any tips or advices that you would like to offer?
I mean, so the trends that I'm seeing is anyway, this is happening. A lot of retail, especially, is moving from bricks and mortar to digital presence. There's a huge digital revolution that's happening, and it's been pushed to the forefront by COVID. So a lot more customers now, companies now need to re-strategize, rethink of how they do it, because I think there was a digital consumer study done which said 50% of consumers had made purchases off their mobile phone. They've browsed, found, and purchased off their mobile phone now. So it's therefore then you have to change even your outlook, right, of how your web page is set up. It needs to be clean UIs. People just want efficiency now. They want to do it from the safety of their home and get it done. So cleaner UIs, even the key stockpiles you have will have to change, because now it will be quality over quantity, So, and people are becoming, because they have more time, more conscious. They might look into the materials of what they're buying, because, I made this joke on a different talk. People will be buying less bras and more loungewear. That's the truth, because, more work from home things are coming in. So the industry, I think for any business, I'd say you can be stuck in the way it was, or actually embrace the fact that there's going to be a new normal, because even if there's a vaccine, it's going to take 18 to 24 months, probably for the whole world to get it, right? So we have to adjust. You just have to keep pivoting and adjusting. I mean, the amount of times I've had to change my business model in the 6 months I've been operational, but then I just think, okay, it doesn't matter. It's trial, but try fast and fail quick, and then try again and fail quick. That it should just be try everything out, but realize it's a new normal now, and we have to adjust. There's no point sitting and being upset about it. I mean, the cookies crumbled, right? So we might as well now go, okay, this is the way it's going to be. Let's all embrace it, and let's figure out how we're going to work through this.
Thank you so much. That's one way to see move
Glass
forward.
are full.
Yes, and yes, I agree. I always support and I always guide startups to move forward and try out new things, try out different things, and even if you fail, there is always another way to get the things done. So yes, let's keep moving forward. And so Sulo, so that I know that you have been, while you are working on your startup, you have been employed as well. So there are so many questions about like what are the future plans? What do you, because there are like different closing times to opening times for the restaurant as well. So like what sort of plans do you have for the future of your startup, your business?
It has been a roller coaster ride from the day we started off in June. Both of us are now working from home. Actually, my husband took a small break from work, and even I was working from home. So we were able to manage it here and there, but now both of us are working full time during the day, and also I finish work off at about 1:30, but then my husband goes on till about 5. But then we somehow manage the work in the kitchen. But there is a big question: what are our plans now? Because it's just the two of us running the whole show. We have been planning to come to this stage. Actually, not me, but my husband has been planning. He has been planning for this for the past 2-3 years, and he has another plan to start up another, like the second the second opening of our, like, another proper place. Hopefully in another 1 to 2 years time, this entire setup will be different. Because of the pandemic, we have tried, like what Himali said, we are trying in different ways. We are trying to introduce different food types. We are trying to come up with different beverages to see what actually people want and eat now. We are not selling food where people are going to be buying those for their survival. No, right? This is like a different type of food which they will be enjoying. So these are not essentials. So we are trying in different ways to come up with uh, a good menu for people, something different, so that they don't have to eat the same thing every time they come. And it's just a small community that we are targeting mainly, if we are talking about vegans. But our aim is not just to target the vegans, but also to target the non-vegans. And our second phase, hopefully, within another 1.5 years, we will be able to open up our second phase of the cafe, which is much more stable, with hopefully better outlook.
Thank you so much, and good luck with the opening of the second cafe. We are looking forward to that. So I'm just throwing out like 2-3 questions that I want all of you to answer. Since let me just check if we have any questions from the so since we don't have any questions from the audience so far, just let me ask you just one question that that I want to know. So tell us one kick-ass moment that you have had in your journey so far. Kick-ass meaning a moment that you felt loved, inspired by others or by yourself itself. Tell us one kick-ass moment. So, Oenone, you can go first.
There have been many. So the thing that comes to mind is probably, I mean, there's been a lot, but the thing that comes to mind is when I see my products come to life, because I put so much of effort, and especially like my planners and things, that I put so much of effort in building it for my customers and things. So when I see the end product after the many sample tests that I have to do, when I see the end product and it has come according to what I envision it to be, I mean, that I feel so inspired, and there's a lot of like genuine inspiration and motivation that comes from that. And one other thing actually is my customers, when they message me and they tell me that my product has helped them find some clarity to live a more intentional life and things like that. So those have been like a instant boost, because it's what the brand was created for at the end of the day. So those are one of my like kick-ass moments.
Himali?
So mine actually is probably, I mean, Ape is only 6 months old, right? And we have about 3,500 followers now. So I got a call about a month and a half ago from someone at Leo Burnett, and they said they can't disclose the client. It's a foreign client, but would I be willing to talk on a 4-part video series and have Ape, like put Ape forward as someone to be selected to be the small and medium business partner? And they didn't tell me who the client was. And I said, what's the talk for? And he was like, oh, to help other entrepreneurs and to, you know, share your tips. And I'm like, I'm more than happy to help anyone. So sure. So I wrote a little brief and I sent it to him. So then he first called me and then he said, okay, so Ape has been selected as the SMB partner. Then I was like, okay, superb. That's great. Then he goes, the client is Facebook Global. I was like, what? That has to be like, for me, I was literally jumping up and down in my room. I'm not going to lie. I was like, wow. So, yeah.
That is really good news to get onto with all the work you do, inspiring,
Yeah.
especially when you're going global, when you want to go global. That would be a great platform where you can utilize. Sulo, tell us about your kick-ass moment.
The opening of my very own, with my husband, of course, my very own cafe. that was the best time for me, when I knew that I had a place, a space to create what I want, the way I want, and there is no restrictions or whatever. So like my husband has been like the biggest support throughout this the vegan kitchen. So he also wanted to give me that little space to create what I want. So that was the best moment for me.
Thank you. So, just as much as you have so many good moments in your life, we believe in talking about the failures, the lowest points in our lives too, as founders, because there is always two sides to a coin, and we always want to encourage uh, everyone to share what where they have been successful as well as where they have been failed. Would you like to share a moment where you felt the lowest or like a failure in terms of the journey you've had so far? Only if you are comfortable with that, Oenone, you can go first.
Where do I start? This journey, there's been so many. I don't know what to say, but I guess for me, it's the general mental strain of probably running the business. There have been so many points I have felt low because this is my sole income as well. Like, I don't work another full-time job. I do other part-time gigs and stuff. So there are times when I have felt like really low and demotivated, like lost as to where I want to take the brand, or is this the right move for me? There have been so many like mini moments of that, certainly. And if like times like when the product doesn't come out well, or it hasn't, if the sample doesn't look according to what I would want it to, or there is some particular, I mean, those are challenges. But I guess it's more for me, the mental strain of running the business is probably I face a lot of like low points in my life. But I've learned to get better at getting back up.
It is very exhausting to have that mental stress.
Yeah.
Himali, what do you have?
I mean, for me, it wasn't like a low point per se, but it was just something that bothered me. Another female founder of a completely different movement had basically 2 weeks after I released 2 videos, combined both my messaging and made a video and done like, I mean, I'm not going to name names or anything, and put like a 70% copied concept of, and I know how hard I work at this. Like anyone who knows, I mean, you, Sashmini, you know, I'm up in the middle of the night. I think of every word I create. I have a great creative director who makes everything pretty, but I write every word. I spend hours researching and studying. And then to just have someone take your words and kind of 2 weeks later rip it off. And I tried to speak to this person, and, you know, if she had at least just said, actually, you inspired me, thank you, like, I would have been fine. But it was just like, oh, maybe we read the same source material. I was like, you know, so it just got to me because I was like, I mean, I work with 40 other entrepreneurs in this group. I would never even think of, or maybe because I was even nice enough to go, maybe you accidentally did this, maybe your social media manager advised you and you didn't even realize. And no, it was just complete like, so, you know, and I mean, I got a bit upset, I'm sure, and I actually put something up even on my Instagram stories, and then my housemate was like, forget about it, take the higher ground, you know, like, let it go. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, I'm sure Oenone or anyone, when you're creating something and then people just copy, it obviously gets to the, I'm sure you feel this as well. You're just like, hey, I'm doing that. Like, it's all our thought and our hard work and our effort, right, as well.
Yes.
And I guess we don't have the laws in place here to like properly protect us yet, you know, so.
Yeah. That's a different topic for a different day, I guess.
That's a different thing.
Yes. So, Sulochana, what do you have?
I have both experience which both these ladies went with. There have been sometimes bad days with my product failures, where it was a big disappointment. Sometimes the stuff which I make perfectly can come terribly wrong. And also where people try to do, like when I introduced nasi goreng, the vegan version, there's another person introducing like the next week. So yeah, so there are issues like that. But then again, we are doing food business. No, anyone can do whatever they want. So then we need to look ahead, and then we need to look past it, and then come up with something new, something different, something innovative, and offer it to our customers, because the customers come to us because of some reason. They know that we can give something to them and they will be happy about it. So yeah, so there has been very low days as well, but then it's just a matter of how you pick yourself up and then move on.
Yes, and that's true. Like it's always, we will have the good days as well as bad days in the business, because it all affects business owners, founders somehow, and it is a matter of how you actually respond to those good days as well as bad days. Yes, and I just have like a really one last question about the topic related. So the topic is collaboration in a crisis, and the crisis meaning it is not just the pandemic, but also it means like the things that we have gone through our lives, right? So you can answer it in either way you would like to. You can consider so the question I have is, what would be the, like, tell us that one thing you will do from now on if there is another crisis to happen. It can be a pandemic or it can be some sort of a really minor crisis, but what is that principle that you would like, you are adopting or you will like to adopt in future to mitigate the problems that will come across through that crisis? You can go first.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think two things come to mind. One thing that I would do is probably financially plan well so that I can sustain the low sale months. And sorry.
Good runway.
Yeah, so that I can sustainably like be able to carry the business through those months when the income is low, and strengthen my digital like online presence a lot, because I think, as Himali said,
I'll help you.
yes.
It's a collaboration right here.
I know. I mean, the future is going to be a lot of online sales, and it's not only our generation, like the future generation has been brought up so much on online, and even my parents, they buy stuff online right now, and they have gotten used to it. People have gotten used to buying online with this pandemic. So online, there's a lot of like world of possibility that I never considered so much until this year. So I want to strengthen that, and definitely the financial part as well.
Yeah, I mean, to just add to that, it was funny. I was having a friend with my friend Alison, who's 22. And something I was explaining to her, like how my age group doesn't know like computers like that. She's like, what do you mean you would have had computers in university? I was like, no, computers came into university in my last year of university.
Yeah.
Our generation did not grow up with technology the way theirs does. So, yeah.
So what would you, what's your answer to that question, Himali?
I mean, honestly, this is a tricky question, because I feel like these are qualities I've anyway built over the years, like resilience, and maybe because it's our passion project, it's easier for us also. If you believe in it, no matter like what anyone says to you, just do it. Like I've had so much, I mean, from people, like even when I wanted to start it again, like my dad believed in it, and that's all that mattered to me. But so many other people, this will never work, this will never work, this will never work. And I'm like, I look at my growth, look at how it's done now. Obviously it is working, maybe not financially yet, but I'm not chasing the money. I believe if I push the messaging and raise awareness, the money will come. You can't only be looking at that. Yes, obviously you have to cover your costs and stuff, but you have to genuinely believe in it as well.
So believing in yourself as well as
your idea, I mean, that's the difference between doing like a corporate and doing your own thing. This is our chance to do something we really believe in.
Yes.
Sorry, no, I want that, because this year I think a lot of people have realized that, I mean, life is sort of short, right? You need, now people are working on their passions and their different interests, and this year has brought that up a lot. So yeah, that's a good point. Like your interest, you should follow. I mean, that's what makes life meaningful at the end of the day.
Sulo, what do you have anything to add? What would you do to prepare for that?
Ladies explained, yes, I would also look into the financial parts and then improving on the quality and the digital presence. Digital presence is extremely important, and that has actually helped me, for example, to grow in my little community as well. And I would also try to spend a little bit more on improving my quality of the products and trying to give a better product to the customers. So that's what I want to do in the future. Even there is a, we can get out of it if we know what we are doing. So that's where I am focused on.
Okay, so be prepared. Yeah, so thank you so much, ladies.
So someone else wants to try.
Oh,
the
you
cake.
need to send cake. I think all these attendees want cake.
For those who want to know
Yeah.
where Sulo's cafe is
Yeah.
located, I'd like to say where it is located.
Yeah.
So it's in Burlasgamuwa. The best time, it's in Burlasgamuwa, close to the Fingara Club. So please do go to the Vegan Kitchen by Sulo. You can find the location there, and do drop in. I would love to have you all in.
And you can eat cake.
Check out her Facebook page. You will see so many lovely food in there as well. Inosh, if you want to order a cake, she's on Uber Eats as well.
Inosh has studied with me. He was with me in my bachelor's. So he's my guest here.
So there you're getting authentic review right now. He wants
Yeah.
me in.
So, okay, thank you so much, ladies. I've been so the collaboration in crisis, the topic that we discussed. I think I've heard a bit of everything about collaboration. So, one thing that we believe in, like, is to amplify our efforts.
It's Nightshade Stationery. Sorry, someone's asking. Yoni's.
Yes, Inone's stationery brand is Nightshade Stationery, and it is on Facebook as well. If you want to check out any of these ladies' Instagram pages to Facebook pages, just drop us a message. We will send you the links as well, and we will definitely tag all the pages on our Facebook.
Thank you, Tushara.
Thank you so much for all the support that I mean, like, before we went live itself, there was so many congratulations to good luck messages from the fellow female founders in the KICKASS group. So this is a shout out to them. Thank you so much for being supportive and collaborating with all of us. Not just Hatch, with everyone else, and being open-minded to try out new things, to try out collaborating with each other, and also to be open to new innovative things, to new innovative ways to promote your businesses. So one thing we learned from all of you is like to promote the businesses to sustainability of it is. Collaborating with the right partners is very important, and also believing in your business and moving forward, even if it is there is a crisis, is very important. And all three of you have proved it so much during your journey. So we always have the ups and downs, and we have to tackle all of them. And we might not have the best days in our lives during our journey, but we have to move forward because this is something we love doing, right? So thank you so much, ladies, and it was lovely to have this conversation with you all.